Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Gosh, can you believe it's Monday again? I can't. Sometimes I wonder, where all the time goes. But when I start to think about where that time goes, I actually realize that sometimes it's going really fast because I'm still doing too many things that I need to be handing off. And that's going to be our motivation for this week. Now, before I dive into this, I want to remind everybody that there's something that you can do for us. If you are liking these messages, then it's really important to help us reach more people. We're right on the pinnacle of some great things in terms of numbers of followers. And we have a lot of people who watch our videos consistently, but still haven't done one very important thing, and that is hit the subscribe button. And if you could take a moment right now, I'm going to take a little sip of my seltzer water while you're doing that. My LaCroix. Oh, I'm not really promoting them, but if you could do that right now, I'll take a little sip. So you can just find that subscribe button and just hit it. Good. Okay. Good. Excellent. So the reason why, and I'm not promoting that bubbly water over any others, I just happen to have it in my fridge at the moment. But the reason that I've been thinking about why sometimes things go so fast and sometimes we have this sense of what is coming next at me is because of something that we actually covered on the Potential Academy videos the last 2 weeks. So if you haven't subscribed in order to know what's coming up, make sure you do just for those, because every Wednesday we release a new video that has to do with, you being a more confident and competent professional, a sales professional, a leader, but it's really about boosting your ability to be a great professional or business owner. And the topic of the last 2 weeks, it was a 2-part series on, is it really easier to do things myself? Or is it important to learn how to delegate? And you probably can tell, if you haven't already watched them, that I'm a big fan of delegation. And yet I still find things that I have not delegated. Now, the last week for me went really, really fast because I went to visit my mom. And it was the first time since we've both been fully vaccinated to go see her, have that really big, great big hug without any fear of pandemic overflow. And my time with her, I had really purposely tried to clear as much off my schedule as possible so I could be there, be very present for her. Yet every day I had things that I still needed to do because I'm running 2 businesses. So there's still things that must be done. And after a couple days of this, I realized that I still have too many things on my schedule that can easily be put on somebody else's schedule on my team. And every time I can do that and break away from one other thing, then I have more freedom and bandwidth to expand. Now, I also have to watch my team. I can't hand over everything because I can't overwhelm them. But because I have so many people, I can hand over certain tasks to certain people that make sense with their job description. So the fact that we had the last 2 weeks, this video on the Potential Academy out, I know I am much, much better at delegation than I've ever been, but there were still certain things that I was just doing, and mostly doing because it was just easier for me. Not that I didn't trust somebody to do it, but that sometimes just those little things escape your mind. And since I was so focused on it, I actually started a notepad, and that notepad, or in my little book, I keep. It's my list of things, those little things that just need to be done once a week or once a day that are very small, yet I'm still doing them and they can easily be transferred. And I decided at the beginning today, I am for this week going to hand over 1 task a day, and I'm going to hand them to 5 different people. So 5 different people will get 1 additional task this week. And why am I doing 1 a day? Well, because then I will focus on each one. I've already decided which ones are going to go and to who and what people. And I've already started working on how I'm going to train them for them. They're very, very simple tasks. But once they're off my plate, I'm going to feel fantastic because I won't have to worry about them. But I'm going to take this 1 week and I'm going to get rid of 5 of them off my back and hand them to somebody else. And then I'm going to evaluate. So next week, I'm going to evaluate. In fact, we'll probably talk about it next week. Like, how did it go? What did I do right? What did I not do right? How did people do? So as I hand over 5, and I evaluate them for their effectiveness, then I can make a decision. And, one decision is it's working great. So let's hand over 5 more. Another is, hey, 3 of them are doing great. The other 2 are not. Let's go back and fix those and make sure they're in order before we start another week of handing over 5. Now, why do I have to wait and start again on another Monday? Well, it's a little bit about how my brain works. I always see Mondays as this clean slate, the opportunity to accomplish so much. And in order to do it, I'd like to have everything else kind of tidied up by the end of the week. So if I still have some overflow or some things we still have to fix, I want to take the time to really fix them and then start a new week fresh where I am handing off more new tasks. My goal is on my list, when I wrote down these things that just kept popping up, I had about 17 things that each take maybe 5 minutes to do. But because I'm not very good at math, let's see, 17 times 5 is 85. I can get back 85 minutes a week by handing over these 17 tasks. Now, in order to do it, I have to decide who to give it to. I have to figure out the training. I have to figure out how to evaluate and make sure it's done correctly, make sure it's being done. But all those things are simple. And once they're done, see, it might take me 10 minutes each time now to get ready to hand it over. But every week I can gain back 5 for every one. I'm going to be really ahead of the game. Now, this takes a lot of dedication because you have to be willing to do it. I'm actually really excited. In fact, as I looked at the list, I thought, why haven't I handed over these things sooner? It's really actually kind of ridiculous, especially when I've been talking about handing over delegated tasks. But this is really why. When I looked at what I was still doing, they were little minor things. They weren't giving me a headache individually. They were literally 5 minutes each once a week. But to think about it when you don't have other things in the way because you've cleared your schedule pretty well and you notice these things are still lingering, all of a sudden it becomes very clear and it becomes really actually mathematically significant to you. When you say 17 tasks, 5 minutes, 85 minutes, I can get 85 minutes back. What else would I do with those 85 minutes this week that I couldn't do because of all those little things that didn't mean anything except for a few minutes here and there? Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy for me to hand them over, but I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to get it planned out, get the transition to somebody else, evaluate it, watch it, measure it, make sure it's on track. Those parts won't be easy. But once they're done, it will be wonderful. And as both of my companies evolve and we're trying to document and plan more of what we're doing, my list of how things get done is much more complete. So in those unfortunate times where you change personnel, then if you've done the work up front, you've documented the process, you have the steps in place to teach it to somebody else, you don't have to take those things back just when somebody leaves or forget about them because you haven't been doing them and realize they've been lost in the shuffle. So what I'm doing is not just to help me have a better week today and this week, or frankly, even to have a better week next week or for the next 9 months, but to make sure that as my companies grow, that our documentation and our planning becomes our Bible of training. It becomes a part of our culture. It becomes a part of something that we can carry on. Now, as I get near the end of this, and I'm thinking about why this is motivating me so much this week, is that it was also very clear to me that as I spent time with my mother and as I've got some actual, kind of vacation time, I love my mother. It's not a lot of vacation when you go because all I was doing was working on projects. We had a little bit of fun, but I was working on a lot of projects. But I have some actual vacation time coming up. And it's important to me that we all find balance, that when we have time off, that we can take time off, that we're actually relaxed and can walk away from work. And the more things that we can take off of our plate and truly delegate to other people, then the better we're going to have that balance in our life. And that's important. Now, you may also be saying, but Michael, that sounds great, but I am doing everything. I'm a one-man show in my business or a one-woman show in my business, and I can't hand things off. I don't have the luxury of having a team like you do. Well, that's where I actually do challenge you as well. And in our links below, you're going to see the link for a program that I have coming up in the first week of June. And it is about how to grow and scale your business by using remote team members like I have. And if you have thought about it, wonder about it, I think it's a great opportunity for you to consider it. So if you are interested, click on that link below there in the notes, the show notes. Hey, and while you're there, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you haven't left a comment, please do. I love the feedback from everybody. So as we go into this week and I say, what's motivating me? What's motivating me is to continue to evolve my businesses, but to continually, well, learn to speak again, continually evolve myself so that everything I'm doing is not just building the business, but it's building new opportunities for me to enjoy the joys of being an entrepreneur, because there are a lot of them. But sometimes we can work ourselves a little too hard when what we really need to do is sit back, take a little time to reflect, and learn how to delegate to truly shock our potential. I hope you have a great week coming up, and look forward to more great opportunities to motivate you on Mondays.